Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 18th of November. With Robert Murray McShane, today we read 1 Chronicles chapters 11 and 12, which looks at David being established as king of Israel, and it mentions all the soldiers and commanders and people with him. But I was struck by the 9th verse of 1 Chronicles 11, where it says, "And David became more and more powerful because the Lord Almighty was with him." I read that and I thought, it seems almost completely logical and exactly what you'd expect. If the Lord Almighty is with you, you would become more powerful. You would become blessed. You would grow because God is with you. And that's what David experienced. We look at somebody like Saul, who began walking with God, but then deviated. He started doing what he thought was best. He ignored what God said and substituted his own ideas and grew away from God, moved away from God's presence. And therefore he became less and less powerful. David, a man after God's heart, walked with God, stood with God, waited on God, and he became more and more powerful. So as we wait on God, we know that God will bless us. We will become, in our own ways, more powerful. It might not always be obvious. One thinks of the first century church, and I don't think that John, as he wrote the Revelation and looked at the church around the Roman Empire, thought, oh, we're becoming more and more powerful, we're growing, this is all going well, because that wasn't obvious. Everybody was meeting in catacombs, there was persecution, Christians were turning away, there's false teaching, the church seemed to be under great threat. But 2,000 years later, we look back and see, no, God was working there. So sometimes as God blesses, it's not obvious. One looks at the church in China as the Communist Party took over and closed the churches, chased missionaries out. People in the West thought, oh, the church in China will disappear. It didn't. It grew, and it grew powerfully. So if we are with God, if God is with us, the Lord God Almighty is with us, we will become more and more powerful. So know that and be encouraged. We also always need to remember that the reverse is not true. You cannot say because somebody becomes more powerful, God is with them. There are many powerful people who are completely removed from God. And it doesn't only talk about earthly power. I know of many preachers who have thriving churches, and I listen to what they're saying, and I don't think they're preaching the gospel. It sounds to me like they're one of those preachers that Jesus warned of, saying that in the end times, people will gather around them, people who will say what their itching ears want to hear. So we can't say because something is successful, it is blessed. But we can say, if something is blessed, it will be successful. Might not measure it the way the earth measures success, but it will be successful. God will bless it. It will, like David, become more and more powerful because the Lord Almighty is with us. Remember that. Be encouraged and be blessed.